Once again, I want to welcome you, my dear viewers, to our presentation. We have been doing a series of family and marriage episodes, season 1. And so far, so good. We have done up to episode 12. And in this presentation, we are going to look at episode 13. Episode 13. And in episode 13, I have categorized it into three parts. We are talking about marital conflicts or family conflicts. And in part A of episode 13, we are going to look at causes of marital conflicts, 20 of them and 5 major ones. And part B of episode 13, we are going to look at resolution styles, conflict resolution styles. Part C of episode 13, we are going to look at essential steps while resolving marital conflicts. Now, someone said that conflict or fighting in a marriage or in a family, it's not unhealthy. It is healthy and can also be unhealthy, depending on how the two partners fight or engage into conflict. In other words, even many psychologists have proved that families that engage into conflict, they stay together as long as they know how to fight. As long as they know how to fight. One of the lovely books that I love reading and quoting is called Heart to Heart, The Art of Communication. The author in this book says that conflict are inevitable. And in any case, if in your marriage there is no conflict, then there's someone who is being unrealistic, or possibly there is some sort of pretense. So conflict is an inevitable thing. Actually, I want us to look at episode 13 part A, where we are talking about possible causes of marital conflicts. It could be all these or few that are causing problems or conflict in your marriage. And even for those who are looking forward to marry, listening to this presentation will help you to know how you can be able to counter, or how you can be able to identify that this is the cause of conflict later on in your marriage life. So I want to welcome you, both the married, the singles, and all those who are aspiring to get married. So possible causes of marital conflict. Now, you realize that almost every marriages, they start out as a huge celebration. Yeah, and none of the spouses can think or imagine or even dream of having a heated conflict to an extent of not talking to each other for a moment or a day or even a week. Now, I want us to look at the very first element. But conflict, what is conflict? It's when partners are unable to agree or to come into terms due to differences in thoughts or maybe any other thing. Now, cause number 1 is money. Elements of money. Many couples argue and even quarrel over their money, how to spend the money, overspending, and one of the spouses might not reveal to the other family about the income, spending money secretly, one partner controlling all the income of the family, buying things without plan and putting the family into debt. Now, money issues causes conflict in many couples. Number 2 is sex or intimacy, intercourse. Now, the frequency. How many times should the couple relate? How long should they relate? What methods and styles should they use? Infidelity, issues of unfaithfulness by either both of or one of the partner. Yeah, or even denying what you call conjugal rights. The other partner forcing the other one into intercourse acts. Now, this can cause conflict. Number 3 is relatives. Poor and unacceptable relationships to parents and in-laws, brothers and sisters, and other relatives. A relationship that ignores, disregards, and persecutes the other spouse. This may include releasing family secrets to the relatives or sending money or property to parents or siblings without involving your partner. Allowing too much freedom to relatives in matters of your family or your marriage. Now, that is number 3. Number four, that a possible cause for conflict in marriages is poor or no communication. The spouses do not talk out their mind. They do not express what they feel, need, think, or know. And when one talks, it is not communicating but commanding, directing, or informing. Now, this can cause conflict. Number 5, children. Children. Issues of disciplining. How do you discipline children? The type of food they should be given, things that they should or should not know or see, especially in the TV or the media, and other parenting issues causes conflict. Children. Number 6 is schedules. Schedules. One of the spouses, mostly men, are ever out on tight programs, coming home late and leaving very early. Sometimes the husband and even the wives travel outside the country for a long time. When he or she comes, they have no time for the other nor for the family issues. Now, schedules can cause marital conflicts. Number 7 is friends. Friends, we call them third parties. Having questionable people attached to a spouse, people whose marriages and families are in shambles, people who are really poisonous to a good relationships. Now, these type of friends can cause conflict into any marriage. Number 8 is domestic work or duties or chores. Many couples not planning for what they should do at home. The wife mostly left with all burdens while the man is just loitering and roaming around. One of the spouses does not take or bear responsibility over his or her family. Now, domestic chaos can cause conflict in marriages. Number 9 is formed habits. Formed habits. One spouse has habits which are irritating and bothersome to the other person or to the other party, and the individual does not like or wish to change, learn, or even to be advised on the same issues. So he or she becomes rigid from the formed habits. That can cause conflict. Number 10 is expectations. Expectations. One or both of the spouses expect too much from the other, regardless of the conditions, situations, or ability of one fulfilling the expectations. These may include financial, social, education, and even intimacy, and even spiritual. Expectations can cause conflict. Number 11 is personality conflict. Personality conflict. One partner does not really like how the other dresses or talks or handles issues, not because the spouse does poorly according to the expected standards, but simply because the other has a picture of a good husband or a wife. He or she has a type of personality in mind which she thinks or desires that the partner should have. Personality conflicts. Number 12 is family background. Very important. We call it understanding the family tree of your partner. Family background. Where the spouse comes from may bring a conflict. Were the parents divorced, separated, single parent, quarrelsome, or don't care? All can make a spouse to be problematic to the other in their marriages. So it is important to understand. It does not mean you don't marry them, but because you have married and you want to marry, then you need to understand the family background and how it can cause conflict into your current marriages. Number 13 is the differences in faith. Differences in faith. When the couple has two different religious faiths, their union is bound to have some conflicts. This is mostly if a Sabbath keeper will marry a Sunday keeper, or a Muslim or a Christian married to a person who practices no faith in God. Now you can ask most of those who have done this, they testify of going through problems and conflicts now and again. However, there are those who manage it. Number 14 is different levels of education. This may be a surprise to many, but the truth of the matter is many marriages today have lots of conflicts just because the wife is more educated than the man. She has a better paying job, a better and more honorable office, or possibly has a better car. The man may have inferiority complex. It just comes automatically or unconsciously, making him to be submissive to the wife, or the wife may develop superiority complex over the husband. Now, there is need to understand this. And even when you are courting during courtship or dating, those who are not married, you need to consider how are you going to handle the issue of education or level of education. Number 15, control mentality. The control mentality. This is whereby one partner wishes to control the other in all matters, be it food, be it dress, be it food, be it friends, be it money, be it intimacy, where the other partner is left with no freedom whatsoever. The other person feels like a slave or caged, sort of. So this can cause conflict. Control mentality. Number 16 is repeated mistakes. Repeated mistakes. It becomes habitual mistakes. Either one or both of the spouses repeat the same mistakes that they had already solved and agreed not to do them, only to see them being repeated, and it seems intentionally and arrogant. This can cause conflict in marriages. Number 17 is keeping special secrets. Keeping special secrets. Here, the household or the wife has a special secret which he or she will not like the partner to know. This is mostly in regards to money or people of the opposite sex. If a man or a woman does not wish the spouse to handle his or her cell phone at all cost, then that raises an eyebrow. It is an indicator that the spouse might be having an affair. Now, it has caused problems in other families. Number 18 is careless talk. Careless talk. One of the spouses is a careless talker. He or she can talk or speak anything to anybody on all matters, including the speaking about their spouse. This definitely will bring a conflict or conflicts when the other spouse discovers it. Rumors, spreading rumors. Number 19 is pre-marital sex. It is a surprise to many couples to know and learn that they can have conflicts if they had sex before they actually married. This is so because when they related together as a husband and a wife, while actually they were not, they lost respect to each other. Now, research shows that those couples who had sex before marriage tend to fight more, with the wife being mistreated and abused. Number 20, committing a willful sin. Committing a willful sin. This may not be adultery as per se, but when a spouse chooses to commit sin against God by choice, plan, and premeditation, he or she disconnects himself or herself from the love and life of God. As a result, the individual's heart is filled by all demons of hell, and as such cannot bring peace at home. So you need to check. Have you disconnected with God, the creator of family, the founder of marriages, the sustainer of marriages? Now, having said that, I want to mention quickly 5 causes which are common. 5 common causes after looking at all the 20. Number 1, selfishness. Selfishness. Okay, and I'm not saying here that every disagreement should be solved by one spouse continually yielding or saying that what does matter to him or her doesn't matter. But often conflict is caused because we care more about ourselves than the other person. Now, selfishness is not the absence of love, but it is self-love. self-love. In one of my presentations, I have talked about types of love, and there's this what we call self-love, which brings the element of selfishness into the marriage. You can check at the link in my description of this particular video, and you'll be able to learn the types of love. James chapter 4 verse 1 gets to the heart of it. From whence come war and fighting among you? It's a question. Come they not hence, even of your lust that war in your members? It is our instance on having what we want, even at the expense of the other person's happiness, that creates conflict. Number 2 is pride. Pride. And Proverbs 13 verse 10 says, only by pride comes contention, but with the well-advised is wisdom. Conflict and contention do not have to be synonymous. It is possible to disagree without being contentious, but constant conflict usually includes contention. And pride makes us unwilling to admit when we are wrong or acknowledge another person's point of view. So instead of somebody apologizing, they will start defending their own behavior. And by so doing, conflict comes in. Number 3 is pettiness. 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 Some things are really too small to argue about. Pathological pettiness turns every disagreement into right versus wrong, with one person having to be proven right. This is usually rooted in selfishness and pride. So pettiness. Number 4 is fear and insecurity. Actually, when one partner has been hurt, feels a conflict coming on, often they will try to withdraw and avoid it because they were hurt before, rather than engaging in a resolution. Unfortunately, problems left unsolved, we call them unsolved problems or issues, will only suffice or surface later on. And you know what happens? It only increases tension from what could have been solved. It grows larger, which in turn makes one party become fearful or insecure. Now, 1 John chapter 4 verse 18 provides the answer for fear. It says, listen to this, there is no fear in love. Wow. But perfect love casts out fear, because fear has torment. He that fears is not made perfect in love. Where fear is involved, couples need to identify that fear before solving a conflict and assure the other that in whatever way the conflict is solved, their non-negotiable is their love for one another. Handling fear in marriage, very important. And number 5, which is common, is satanic attack. Satanic attacks. There can be no doubt that marriages faces enemies that are designed and empowered by Satan himself. Because marriage is a picture of Christ and the church, according to Ephesians 5 verse 32, Satan hates it and wants to destroy it. Actually, he wants to destroy even before you begin, for those who are not married. And even every time a Christian family is broken, do you know what? The testimony of Christ is harmed. Every time a couple lets conflict grow between them, their own walk with the Lord is harmed. Now you have an enemy who is out to destroy your relationship, your marriage. 1 Peter 5 verse 8 warns us. It says, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary the devil, as a roaring lion, walks about, seeking whom to devour. Now recognizing this should make you afraid or see a demon behind every bush in conflict. But it should not make you see a demon behind any bush, but it should add urgencies to dealing with conflict in a godly way rather than reacting in pride. Friends, having said that, I want to welcome you to episode 13B. Episode 13B, we will look at conflict resolution styles. May the good Lord bless you as you continue walking together in our family and marriage episode, season 1. God bless you.